Ministry of Health, Saudi Arabia, Vision and Mission.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين سيدنا محمد. First of all, I would like to thank you, Mr. Chairman, Dr. Abdullah, Dr. Liab, for the introductions. The title of my topics today is the Oral Health Preventive Program at Ministry of Health, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Update and Obstacles. So I will go through different topics like the demographic data for Saudi Arabia, oral hygiene practice, trend in dental caries, dental services in Saudi Arabia, oral health preventive programs, lessons we learned, obstacles, special consideration, and toward success in preventive. So if we review the demographic data in Saudi Arabia, as you know, the population of Saudi Arabia reached more than 32.5 million, and with an annual growth rate of 2.5%. Most of the the population is males, and Saudi is 72%. And the kingdom is a very huge country. The size of the kingdom reached to 2,250,000 square meters. If we look at the oral hygiene practice in our populations and review some of the study which has done in different regions, we will first of all will show you this study which done by Amin in 2008 in Al-Hassa, where he said that around 24.5% of school children brush their teeth twice or more per day, while 29 of them never received instructions regarding oral hygiene practice. Another study done in Riyadh, also they mentioned that toothbrush, this study done by Almas, it's a little bit old study, but still we have a neglect in oral hygiene. They said that toothbrushing were used by 53% male and 83% female dental students, 10% of intermediate school students, and 17.5% of secondary school never clean their teeth. This indicator is very serious, actually. In Mecca, Al-Atabi, he also did a study, and he found that 73% of regular dental patients use toothbrush daily, while the old ages, 44% of the old age, 51 to 60, never used toothbrush. All this study indicates that we have a very serious problem. We have a neglect in cleaning oral hygiene, brushing the tooth, and we have shortage in giving instruction all around the regions. So if we go to another topic which speak about the trend in dental caries, so just I would like to present the first survey or the first study which is done in Saudi Arabia by Al-Shammari in 1990. Prof. Al-Shammari, he did the survey, and he found that DMT in 6 to 9 year old during that time 4.14 in boys, while in girls 3.43. In the older age, 12-year-old, he found the DMT 1.61 in boys and 86 in girls. Another study done by Al-Shammari again in 1994, he found that the DMFT in 6 to 7 year old around 4.3, while in the 12 to 13 old 2.65, and there is no difference between rural and urban area. So those two studies, Stone study, like the beginning of the surveys, showed us that we have a very dangerous, indications for dental caries all around the kingdoms. And another study done by a Dosari, and he did the survey in two areas, in Riyadh and Al-Qasim. He found the DMFT in Riyadh 6.53 and in Qasim 6.35, which is a slight difference, not significant. While in the age 12 to 13 year, the DMFT 5.6 and 4.5 in Al-Qasim. In 2000, Dr. Al-Wadlan came up with a study on Riyadh, and he found that the DMFT is increasing. It's around 7.34. Another study by Al-Sadhan in an older ages found the DMFT at 5.9. This slide shows you, this graph shows you DMFT for 6 to 7 year old children in 6 regions of Saudi Arabia. Can find the Asir shows a little bit higher, like 6.5 than the other regions, Abha, Medina, Dammam, Jizan. Just I would like to show you this table, which is shows the variation of DMFT in the different regions in primary teeth between year 2000 to 2008. And if you note that DMFT in primary teeth range between 0.91 in Al-Qasim up to 8.06 in Jeddah. That was in primary teeth. While this table shows the variation of DMFT in permanent teeth, and the DMFT in the different regions between the year 2000 to 2004 range between 0.72 in Al-Qasim up to 5.06 in Riyadh. Another good study, which was done by Al-Aqili in 2013, and this study was a literature review for all the work which has done during the past 10 years. So she came in a conclusion that the national prevalence of dental care severity in children, Saudi Arabia was estimated approximately 80% in primary dentition with a DMFT 5, and 70% in permanent dentition with a DMFT 3.5. This is study done around 3 years back, so 4 years. If we can take this as a base for our work on the DMFT, this will help us a lot. So we'll move from the DMFT and the caries, prevalence of caries, to another topic, which is the sugar consumption per capita in Saudi Arabia. You'll find that the sugar consumption in Saudi Arabia is the highest between the 5 other countries, to reach up to 37.2, we consume our children, and we consume a lot of sugar in food. So we have to take care of what we about this topic especially. So this is a brief review about the situations in Saudi Arabia about the trend of dental caries and sugar consumption. Let us talk a little bit about the dental services in Saudi Arabia. As you know, in our country, there is many provider for the dental service. In the government, the universities, National Guard, the military hospitals, all of those, they have primary and secondary and tertiary specialized service also. But the largest dental service is provided by Ministry of Health. The private sector growing actually in the dental service very fast, and right now we have a very large, clinics and specialized clinic in the private sectors. New model of care and Vision 2000 will a little bit different than what we are doing right now. So the dental service in Ministry of Health has many levels, as you know, primary level through the primary health care clinics and dental care complex. The secondary level in the hospital, and we have these services in the regions, many regions, they have hospital which has a department, some of them small department, some of them large department, and the tertiary through the dental center. We have a specialized dental center all around the country. Nowadays reach up to maybe around 49, 50 dental center. The type of service the Ministry of Health provide is the preventive and curative. So as one of the strategy of the Ministry of Health, and as our Deputy Minister talked today about the concentration in the preventive. So we are trying to make a lot of force and concentration in the preventive in the coming future. And then the curative. This is the manpower Ministry of Health. 2017, we have around 3,456 dentists. Those are specialists, consultants, specialists, and general practitioner. Most of them general practitioner, more than 50%, and the other consultant and the consultant considered to be, maybe it has only 20% of this number. We have a hygienist, we have technicians, we have a shortage in dental assistant, and this is the problem which we are trying to overcome by employing the trained nurses. So if you compare the dental assistant to the doctor, you will find that we have a great shortage. So we are trying to train nurses to cover this problem. The clinic we have around more than 3,000 dental clinics all around the country. 1,758 in the primary health care, 52 in hospital, and 734 in the dental center. Now, if we move to the historic background about the oral health preventive program. So the dental department, Ministry of Health, since it started back in 1980s, it has many program. It launched many programs through the years. Some of them had been stopped and changed to the other by the other one. Some of them still it works. So the first program which had launched by the Dental Directorate in Ministry of Health was the grade 1 and 4 school program. That is a very famous program. Maybe the old generation knew about this program. It was done in collaboration with Unilever Signal 2 and was concentrated on school children, grade 1 because they have a primary dentition, and grade 4 because they have mixed dentitions. Antenatal preventive program, this one done in 1993, but it was a short period of time. The preschooler programs, which also one of the programs which had been launched in 1993, and it concentrated in a school children, in a preschool children between age 1 and 5. And then in between there are another program like a Bit and Fisher sealant program where done in the schools with the portable clinic, topical fluoride, or in the primary healthcare clinics, oral health education for all societies, and oral health school joint program. This is also another program which launched in 2004 and 2005. This program done in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. And part of this program was to teach training, teach the teachers, or train the teachers, and the fun learning with superficial group tools. The people who get benefit, or the students who get benefit from this program reach up to 500,000. And more than 320 teachers had been trained in this program. You just have a look at this picture which show you the teacher training courses. There is a lot of material for the teacher, booklet, continuous education learning in the schools, and this program also the teacher can train the student to how to use the brushes, and also this part of the program has been covered very well in the schools. The company which was during that time, support this program was the Crest companies, and it print material like some booklet for drawing, for and some poster like you see. So those program has been very active, and a lot of people get benefit from those programs. More program launched in 2009. The most famous one is the Portable Dental Clinic Program, Community Oral Health Campaign, Media Program. The Portable Dental Clinic Programs is called for males schools, and it launched 2009. Through that program, there is many things has been supported, like the health education, dental screening, Bit and Fisher sealant, topical fluoride applications. And the target group for that program was the primary school children, grade 1 and 3. And the manpower, it has only small team, only dentist and hygienist, and regional supervisor. The armamentarium of that portable dental clinic program is the portable dental clinic unit, main unit, dental chair, dentist tool, light unit, instrument set, light cure machine, topical fluoride, Bit and Fisher disposable items, paper form And Ministry of Health owned more than 150 of those clinics. They distributed all over around the kingdoms, and it, in fact, it works very smooth, this program with the Ministry of Education during that times, and there was a very good agreement and support, and the report, a monthly report comes to the little part of the activities in the schools, where is the dentist or dental hygienist and the regional supervisors going, okay. Another good program, which is the community oral health campaign. And this campaign is the Ministry of Health doing it in the malls, shopping centers, in national festivals, and maybe the Ministry of Health first started the dental week. It was for dental health week, and then this has been proposed for the GCC, and we have now the GCC dental health week activities, which is done in March. Third, it is small group lecture, mouth examination, topical fraud applications. This is a good example of the GCC week for oral health promotions, which I mean, they do it every year, and very active in all the dental sectors. And in that week, the regions, advertise about the activity, which could be in a playground, or it could be in the dental center, or it could be in any schools. And they invite a VIP person to start and open. And the ministry is very active in this regard. Since it launched up to this moment, we have up to today, because today is the time of this GCC weeks. Also, they do investment in the street, in the sport. So the people in our sector, they are very active in the health week. Another program is a media program with through TV, sports, printed materials, platform, and right now we have little initiatives which Dr. Abdullah talked about it, and Dr. Tarif. We are supporting this initiative, and we launched it in 2017 in Ministry of Health, and I think this will give a strong impact, and we will have very good results from this initiative. What lessons we have learned during the past? We learned planning, baseline data, situation analysis, need, priority, aims, and objective, available resources, implementation, and evaluation, multi-sectorial partnership. Not only Ministry of Health should do all this job, but the other health sector should, share with the Ministry of Health all this activity, combination of approach with behavior changes, educational empower, and social work, and then the trainings and communication. Communication is very important in this regard. Now the new communications, the modern communication through the obstacles. The obstacles, as you know, the kingdom diversity, kingdoms from the south from east to west is around 1,400 kilometers. From the north to the east, about 180 kilometers. And if you see this slide, you can imagine that most of the population concentrated in an area like in Mecca, Jeddah, Medina, Riyadh, that are around 60% of the population concentrated there, and only 15 in the eastern regions. So this make a little bit difficult to reach to all of those people. Staff shortage, we have problem in funding the preventive program, but nature of the problems. Okay, just the conclusions.
Do you have many, so because the time is over, so.
All right. If you just give me 2 minutes just to place the slide of the conclusion. 2 minutes. Okay. Towards success in preventive, a roadmap with a clear starting point, destination, and pathway is needed to improve the oral health. Reduction in consumption of sugar-containing food, provision of community water fluoride, oral health education and promotions, and the last thing is, if there is a will, there is a way, more investment in preventive, evidence-based, effective and efficiency, thinking institutionally. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Saud Arfali, for this nice presentation. We have a couple of minutes for maybe 1 or 2 questions. So, Dr. If you could be nice if you introduce yourself and the place you are working in.
في هنا واحد يا دكتور.
اوكي السلام عليكم. دكتور اكرم قطب من دنتال بابليك هيلث ديبارتمنت كليه طب الاسنان جامعه الملك عبد العزيز في جده. عندي ملاحظه بسيطه على البرزنتيشن حقت النمبرز دكتور بالنسبه للدي ام اف تي. It's a nice presentation of what previous researchers have done in this area. However, a number on its own does not represent الحقيقة نسبة التسوس. DMFT of 5 could mean 5 حشوات وليس 5 تسوس في الأسنان. النقطة الثانية كمان حضرتك ذكرتها بالنسبة لعدد كراسي الأسنان مقارنة بعدد أطباء الأسنان الشغالين في.
دكتور أكرم, if you want maybe speak in English with some people.
Oh, sorry. So another comparison of the number of dentists that work at the Ministry of Health in comparison to the dental chair available, there is quite a discrepancy in the numbers. So more dentists, less dental chairs. Is the Ministry of Health planning to work on this to improve it?
Yes. Now the Ministry of Health had a plan to, increase the dental chairs all around the country, and also we will have we will launch some new dental center very close in the future, inshallah.
Great. 2 more points, quick. So for the initiative that the country is starting on reducing dental cares, ايش دور الوحدة الصحية المدرسية؟ ما أعرف شو اسمه.
Okay, they are part of this because now all Ministry of Education Health had been moved of health, so they are part of this initiative.
I think it's a great opportunity
so
there.
This is make the strength of this initiative.
Excellent.
Okay, we
one last thing.
We are optimistic to do.
سؤال وامشي.
Okay.
Where are we from having a national survey on oral health in Saudi Arabia? That's it. Thank you.
Okay, right.
Okay,
Dr.
So
Abdullah.
Prof. Shamri probably
We'll talk about that. Thank you very much. شكرا لكم.
Question from the ladies' side. طيب, so we'll go to the next speaker.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. It's my pleasure to introduce Prof. Abdullah Shamri. Prof. Shamri received dental degree from Cairo University in 1979 and joined College of Dentistry at King Saud University, where he works at faculty until he ranks promoted as full professor in 2000. He finished the postgraduate education from University of Minnesota in USA 1984. He was the former dean at College of Dentistry, King Saud University, and chairman of Oral Health Committee and Scientific Advisory for Ministry of Health at GCC countries. He is also the chairman, consultative council of private university at college in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia from 2017 to present, and professor and director at Riyadh العالمي University. Prof. Shamari established the Saudi Dental Society in 1981 and established the Dental or Saudi Dental Journal in 1989. He established the first private higher education in dentistry in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He was the one who established the IDR, Saudi Arabian section, in 1994 and Arab Academy of Continuing Dental Education in 2008. He was the founder and served as chairman of board and scientific council for two terms, and currently president of Saudi Society of Restorative Dentistry. He has more than 45 publications and 350 national and international conferences attended. Please welcome with me Prof. Shamari.
السلام عليكم، صبحكم الله بالخير. I'm really so happy today to stand here in Riyadh in 2018 at the Oral Health Promotion, the Global Approach with Riyadh Dental Meeting. It's amazing for me, really. When Dr. Abdullah Amri, Jazakallah khair, he talked to me about this, it was really a happy chance. Every time any one of my colleagues talk to me to organize something in the prevention, in any part of our country, I'm always supported and I like to be part of this. And always I feel proud to participate and share whatever the value of my time within this meeting, because always we believe we need to continue, working for the promoting of the oral health. And for the leader in the field, they must be cooperated always to put their efforts together to guide the new generation, to continue the mission. I'd like to take this chance really to thank Dr. Abdullah Amri, مدير قسم طب الأسنان في المديرية العامة للشؤون الصحية, and all of his team for the excellent work, excellent preparation. And it was the first time for me to be here in this venue. And believe me, I'm living almost 2 kilos from here. The first time I realized there is a hotel like this here. So thanks God, And in the same time, I like really to extend my sincere thanks for the other committees like the Saudi Dental Society. They are still playing their role, and we need them to continue with their role to support the activity, of dentistry all over our country. I select this topic because I strongly believe in that. We have a golden chance as a dentist now. And today, by the way, when the Deputy Minister, Dr. Tarif Al-A'ma, standing beside me, I said, look, I quote your statement in your speech. You said, Doctor, you will work from your position now to decrease the prevalence of dental cares 20% from current ratio for the 2020. He said, oh, you caught me. I said, no, I caught you because I like to work with you to achieve it. Then he felt happy. He thought I caught him just to be criticized. No, because when there is a key person like this man attending with us, use his power within the authority of Ministry of Health to work to achieve our goal, in the prevention. And I think all of us realize, especially my colleagues, the senior, our main issue to implement so many beautiful ideas, in prevention, the decision maker, they are not aware about our problem. They are not educated. What we need to discuss. And the problem also of some of our colleagues, when they become in a position, he or she try to do nice things for the boss, the medical person, without explaining to him the size of the problem in the prevention and to emphasize that. So when I decide really to talk today about the vision of 2030, I am not following everybody these days talk about Vision 2030. No, I realize there is an excellent golden chance for you. All the system in our country is changing for the better, changing for something we are not expecting. Can we work together, not fragment, to be part of this change, to convince the decision maker? We are, as a dental community in this country, we like to have a place to control the prevalence of the dental disease within our country. As my colleague Dr. Saud presented to you in his beautiful presentation, the prevalence of the dental caries since 1979, I still remember, the first man came to Riyadh, his name, Dr. David Barm. At that time, I'm just intern. 79, 80. Then I look for him in the old dental school. Who's this man? Why is he here? He said within 2 days, he liked to study the prevalence of dental caries in Riyadh. It was a shock to me. And it was the first publication at the dental unit in Geneva, still until now, if you go to the reference, by David Barnes. Believe me, 2 days he visited Riyadh. But those people, they are super qualified to run the design of the study, to collect the data, as what? As exploring the problem. And since all the last 35 years, we talk about the problem, but we achieve a lot. Look for the last 5 years. Any one of us cannot miss daily in the social media activities for our colleagues in different parts of this country work in the prevention, which is really great. Before, not always we have something like this. And those people who talk about the prevention, always you cannot find so many people interested for that. So I'm selecting this because really we lack to send a message for you. Don't miss the vision of 2030. If we are really qualified to do a team approach to let oral health promotion is a part of the decision makers, the Ministry of Health, the Minister, the office, مكتب تحقيق الرؤية في وزارة الصحة. Dr. Sattam sitting here, okay? Those decision people, they must believe in the problem of us, and I'm sure we can do a lot of great things. We don't like to have, a first key person be a Minister of Health. Then when they decide to plan something for the Minister of Health, they said, dentistry? I don't need dentistry among Minister of Health. I never blame this man when I hear from my colleague that he talked like this. So I was waiting for any chance to meet for any social. Then I met him. I said, look, you know what the problem with you? You are not aware about our popular prevalence of the disease. We are the people who are not doing a good job. Because if you are doing a good job, and there is one of the community become a Minister of Health, he knows that among his first priority, like they talk about diabetes, about obesity, dental cares. So today, in the speech of the Deputy Minister, Dr. Tarif Al-A'ma, I was listening for him, he talked about 3 things. And also the Director of Health. They talk about diabetics, and also obesity, and the dental cares, which is really good things for us where we can work and do the thing. All of us, we agree about this. I will not present something new for you. Whatever you work in the prevention, always you are the winner. And I'm always has a famous saying, my colleague, the previous, the former, the current, I said, Minister of Health, whatever they do in treatment, with my respect for all those implant surfaces in the dental center, Riyadh, Jeddah, Dammam, laser, nobody will appreciate. People, they will appreciate when you have a prevention. Do prevention program. So I like within the limited time to me, so the chairman of the session will be happy with me, and I try to finish 5 minutes before I need to discuss with those young one from Jeddah. I'm really happy with him. Sorry, I don't know what his name, but when he talk about he's coming from Jeddah, King Abdulaziz, in public health, this man is important for me, really. So I said to Dr. Saud, please, I will give 5 minutes just to discuss when will be another national dental survey. Because I am the one who worked in the first national, 1990 to 1994. And now we are 2018. So what's going on? That's important. If I take the first one in the overview, what I like to share with you, yes, it's important to continue looking for the prevention for the dental disease in the country. It's a very shame. Every time we attend a big conference and they present a published, well-established study, it shows still we are among the highest. So where we are, how many programs of the prevention we did? Then do we identify the health need to improve the dental health? What's the plan? Not in Ministry of Health always. What about the other? There is hundreds of millions of riyal spent around in Ministry of Defense, National Guard, school health program, and different. Where they are, I mean, according to the problem in our country. Then can we again use the vision of the 2030 to have more prevention in the things? Last 2 years, 2016, I wrote the editorial within the Saudi Journal of Oral Science talking about dentistry in Saudi Arabia and the challenge of the Vision 2030, as you can see here in the quoted cited reference here. There is a large number of registered dentists. Last 2 weeks, all of you aware about the conference of the manpower, run by who? By Saudi Health Commission, with the 4 ministers attending. Why now, in 2018, in this hotel, they did these activities? Because there is a budget from the 2030 to support the workforce in health in general, dentistry among them, medicine, nursing, the other, which is really great. The number we saw, they said we already have almost 16,540 dentists. Great. When you look for the total number population, 30 million. Then now, currently, we have a 26 dental school. And those dental schools, they have a modern facility. Without exaggeration, I know large number of Saudi colleagues with a high class caliber among the world. Either they are graduated from the top university in the top places in the world, or from national program with a high quality. So manpower, we don't have a problem. The problem in our curriculum, is it curative or is it preventive oriented? Then look for the Ministry of Health now. They plan within the 2030 to increase the amount of money to spend from in the private sector to be shared from 25 to 35. That's what's written in the vision. And this is again national transformation program. مكتب التحول. كل وزارة الآن فيها مكتب تحول لتحقيق الرؤية. So they announced that what? The healthcare, I mean, within the private sector. They need to raise it. Why I'm happy with the private sector? Not because I'm working the private. No, because the private has 2 positive identity. Number 1, continuity without changing the boss. Sorry for that. Majority of our program, as I look for it and shot some of the picture with Dr. Saud, a lot of the nice programs started. But when there is a change in the boss, a lot of things is changing. Number 2, private sector open for everybody without restricted for certain people to work with them. Over 23 billion Saudi riyal Ministry of Health plan to spend it. I'd like to ask you a question. Do we have any committee, any team, influence to take 1 billion from these 23 for 5 years to be directed for the oral health promotion? Question. Later on, in the discussion, we'll talk about it. So the objective I like to cover it today, number one objective, importance of the prevention in the Saudi dental practice. And don't stop this. You can practice the prevention even during the treatment session. We need to recognize the current curriculum of the dental school in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We need more prevention rather than the treatment. I am sorry, I am one of the dental educator, and I am cheating them, they believe me, I am leader. Still our curriculum, in the most of dental school, we are teaching the same curriculum of 1940. Pre-clinic, complete denture. Students in those 26 schools start to learn and to look the picture edentulous. Very few dental school where they start to train their undergrad first in the prevention, how to evaluate the diet, the oral hygiene, then you put a plan. Then after that, so many dental schools, they change this. No more, because if I give you the picture of 40s, more extraction and only think about replacement, it is not easy for me later on to orient you for the prevention. Number 3 goal, we like to figure out the current status of dental disease. I'm really happy when I know that Dr. Saud already presented to you. And most of you get sick to see several publications, different authors. The percentage still. I tried to pick only one schedule, table. I hope my colleague from King Abdulaziz will be happy with that. Then we like to explain the need for universal insurance coverage. What's this? Yes, now people, they will not look for CDT, the code of the dental treatment. Every company, they have their own rule. Please look for this as a strong tool for the prevention within the new vision of 2030. Prevention always, we never disagree about it. All of us, we believe in it. But how to apply it? This is the problem. To apply it, this is the smart way now. Is it money-oriented prevention in the private clinic? I can tell you, yes. How the patient will pay me if I talk to him 20 minutes, brush your teeth, use fluoride, stop gum bleeding. No. There is a lot of the prevention tools now can be coded and can be effective. Are we ready for that? Can we change our way? Yes, we like. What do you like from the prevention? I like to increase the awareness. If the awareness among the society was high, including and covering everybody, I will not have a decision maker stand against dentistry to be part of any health program. Simple as it is. How much we put in that? When there is an awareness, always we have the problem of the cavities, gum disease, loss of the teeth. We learn this simple, and we pass the exam in the undergrad. And we have so many Saudi, look for this statement, so many Saudi super qualified with the highest degree in the dental public health in Saudi Arabia. But you know what the sad thing? Each one of them, I know 13 of them, coming from the state, with the doctor in the public health, but certificate in clinical. And when they come, they practice dentistry from treatment. And they ignore the doctor of science degree. Why? Because Saudi Commission cannot recognize you as a consultant later on unless you have a doctor or board. So this is the easy way. Can I reformat their mind now to take a rule in a vision of 2030? Can they listen for us now? I hope so, if we convince them. Dental disease continue in our country, and still we talk about it. Let us to go to that speech of the Deputy Minister. 2020, he liked to decrease 20% of the current prevalence. Can we agree, and part of my discussion, what's the prevalence now? The one which Dr. Saudi present, the other study present, my presentation now, is it 90%? So 20 of 90, we like to go for 70 by 2020. 2020, almost 2 years from now, maximum. If we go to the excellent always dental health prevention proposal, which is published in every place, everybody talking about cooperation. Health education, prevention program should be supported by parent and patient to prevent the gum disease. We need to collaborate with the dentist. Who are the dentists? Is the dentist Minister of Health? We have a problem here in our society. In the mind of our colleague, they believe prevention, it is the responsibility of Minister of Health. Yes, part, but it's your responsibility. Whatever your title, private, National Guard, Minister of Defense, whatever, you are a dentist, should be part of your work. So can we cooperate in that? Or he said, no, there is no money here. There is a money. When you look for the nice model, which is always we discuss it, and I put it here, and I look for it. Then I ask myself, even this early morning, after I pray morning, how many times I present this and modify it? But what I did, in the first one ministry, I put Minister of Health, Minister of Education. Because بعد ما نقلوا الصحة المدرسية رجعوها لأساسها اللي هي وزارة الصحة. Ministry of Education has a big rule to open their schools. Open, without any complication. يا أحبتي, we have a lot of memory. When we like to approach school to do prevention program, you cannot imagine how much complication and permission you need to do just to implement an oral health promotion. When the rule will be now between Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education, and they made a policy, any oral health promotion, mostly welcome, نقطة. We are not damaging the health of the children, by the way. We are not using new drugs in our specialty. But they classify us under one category. And especially if you go for the female school, it's a big dilemma. Can we pass this? Can we put rules to be easy, clear? Code that number. And you can put your program. So teachers within the school, they are part of the oral health prevention. Then most of the teachers, they love to learn from you when you go there. Don't give your lecture purely for the students. Start first with the teacher. Let them to aware and to be part of you. Then after that, give the lecture of the oral health promotion to your class of the students. That's what we do in the King Salman Health Center for Children since more than 5 years. Then after that, we leave the responsibility for the teacher, and we go back for them. You cannot imagine how much the teacher, they feel proud when they are taking your rule. They are doctors now. So to reinforce the prevention, yes, we need a health program in the school. No one can quit that. Whatever the time it will come. The way, either mobile dental clinic, either a team, and believe me, there is no competition in that. If every dental office in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia establish a program with any school, believe me, we need more. Because this is really improving the way how we look for the oral health disease, different than the traditional way. I put this picture from the study we made it through the Minister of Health, GCC, because we are now in the GCC week. Thanks God, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is still #1 country in the activity of the oral health promotion within this week. I only put the comparison between the three main countries involved. You can see here, only we look for the curves of prevalence now, mean and standard deviation. You can see there is decrease. I was really questioning the data. Dr. Muhammad Al-Rafi at that time, he was involved with Dr. Saud, Minister of Health. But when we select this sample, the size of the sample, yes, it is not that big sample, but as our colleague, raised the question, we don't have a second national oral health survey since 1994 when we finished the first one. But we can run another one now, more than 20 years. Normally, after each 20 years, you need to run another national survey and compare your data. As you can see here, decayed teeth comprise 61% of the permanent dentition. And when you look for the decayed and missing 5%. So the rest of that will be almost 34 for the filled. The problem where? The problem that we have a prevention care gap. Those colleagues who are sitting in the audience now and not aware about this terminology, this is really a problem. It is not a matter of availability of the treatment. It's a matter the awareness about the prevention and how I can use the prevention. Sometimes you have the facility, you have the manpower, but always when you run your survey, you realize there is a gap, in the way of the prevention. 0.5 and less of that, the percentage of using the fissure and bed sealant. All over the GCC region, by the way. Why not in Saudi Arabia? I put in the GCC. Because isn't Saudi Arabia more or less? I will not answer this. But I have the answer, really. Then the second one. In some less than 98% of the population has no access for prevention dental care, not emergency dental care. Can I go for any clinic of Ministry of Health here in Riyadh and ask for a prevention care? I will leave for you. Dr. Abdullah sitting here. I don't know. But believe me, when you dream, when you are sitting جالس في مجلس ويقول لك واحد من أقربائك, some of your relative, أنا والله عندي موعد وقائي في عيادة الأسنان. مش له؟ ما هو روت كانال ولا هو إمبلانت ولا هو فينير ولا هو تركيبات ولا هو سحب عصب. يا سحب العصب ده لوع السعوديين. Lack of the prevention make the treatment always there is a need for it. Okay, so we need to look for it again in a nice way. Now, what's the actual cost of prevention care? How much? If there is a 25 billion riyal, Ministry of Health plan to spend it for the next 5 years. Can we write a proposal from team, not one place, several? We agree together and we said, let us to write for the Minister of Health, Dr. Tawfiq Al-Rabi'a. Please, Dr. Tawfiq, we have a justification. How much we need to ask for prevention? Only for prevention. It is not our responsibility, the treatment. Can we ask 100,000 riyal? Enough for us? Anyone of you sitting here, I will not ask him to stand. Remember, in any budget, there is amount of money purely for prevention. بس يرفع يده كذا تذكر مر عليه جملة في توزيع الميزانية في أي جهة حكومية. There is 100 million riyal, for example, for dentistry. How many after this 100 million for prevention? Can I put 100,000? Then I can go for Minister of Health. I said, look, Your Excellency, please give us, 100,000 for the prevention for 2019. And we will do a lot, Dr. Asim. We will do a lot. But believe me, I cannot remember. I'm always interested in that. Any one of my previous students, colleagues, show me official figure in a government budget for, forget about the private, sorry for that, I am private, okay? Saying that amount for prevention only. You can let me to learn something new today. Who should provide preventive care? Is it the government, Minister of Health? Always I look for Minister of Health because according لولي الأمر وزارة الصحة هي المسؤولة عننا. That's it, okay? Or public-private partnership, yes. Can we do it? Where is the public-private partnership? Or only the private healthcare and preventive dental insurance. It's a new name, preventive dental insurance. That's why I need to talk about it. Within how much time left to me? 11:06. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I supposed to finish when? 15 minutes, good, more than enough. I have 5 minutes saved for my colleague from King Abdulaziz. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, MIC, Medical Insurance Company, CDT, Code of Dental Treatment. I have a high interest in that, and I am so happy within my private organization deal with that company. They respect me not because I'm a dentist, believe me, because I am doing more than 5 million yearly real policy for insurance. So I talked to them how to improve the dental code within this. I can tell you in the beginning, كلمة من الراس تاخذها. They doesn't care. أهم شيء يحطون سحب العصب حق مولر القديمة 400 ريال. يا الله. طب قلت ممكن تحط 50 ريال لبريفنشن للسن المولر دي. قال وش ذي؟ قلت هذه أحسن من سحب العصب. قال لا ما هي عندنا. اوكي. متى تكون عندنا؟ When we know as a dentist there is a code. It's a symptom, it's a letter or number, represent a sign meaning. Information that can process by computer without looking for anything. This code, we need to use it as a dental, as a part of the insurance company. Yes, all of other insurance company, they have dentistry. But look for the code of the prevention. Please, have a chance, update yourself, March 2018. Look for Booba Taawuni, I will show it to you. The purpose of that, we like to achieve uniformity and consistency and specificity in accurately documenting dental treatment. نقطة. الأسبوع الماضي فرحنا بقرار مؤسسة النقد العربي السعودي. ايش دخلهم؟ مؤسسة النقد العربي السعودي هي اللي مسيطرة على شركات التأمين. وش سووا؟ قالوا حقيقة كل واحد تجاوز ال60 ما عاد يغيرون البوليسي حقته. ترى أول اللي فوق ال60 ذا إذا البوليسة ب2000 ريال في السنة تصير ب18,000. Now they change. لكن when we can be happy إنه مؤسسة النقد العربي السعودي تفرض على الشركات إنه في prevention dental code. Anyone if you think about it and imagine what will be our condition after 2020 if they apply this in a simple way. لا ندخل في تعقيدات الدولة ولا وزارة الصحة، فقط شركات التأمين تعترف لنا بالكود of the dental treatment in the prevention. ابعدني عن سحب العصب ذا. Please, okay? In the prevention, we have a list of prevention code. And هي ملاليم. We talk about 30-50 ريال. Anyone of you have information different than me? They said no. I'm dealing with insurance medical company in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They recognize the prevention code. Raise that and be ready for me for the discussion. Now, if we implement this universal insurance for all the citizens to solve dental issue, yes, it will help us, wallah. And we get out of all of these dilemma. And private تلاقيهم ما عاد يعلن. مركز الدكتور عبد الله لتقويم وتعويض الأسنان. أبغى أشوف يكتب مركز البروفيسور عبد الله لوقاية أمراض الأسنان. ولا أحد يحطها لا بدعاية ولا بإعلان. لكن في الزراعة، في التعويض، في التبييض، bleaching, accent smiling, yes, we have it. This code should be both public and private sector. If the public sector, the decision maker, at the Minister of Health, always I go Minister of Health because they are the decision maker, forget about anything. And now they have more authority with the new Vision 2030. Can I convince them to believe in this? That's it. Doesn't need any single real from the 25 billion for Ministry of Health? Only this. Think about it with me. We can expand the source of financial fund. Then we can improve the cooperation among the health insurance company and the service provider. There is money replacement. There is money for the company, believe me. And we'll show you what will happen. Now, within our country, there is a lot of insurance company. The famous, تعاونية, لأنها government 51. Buba, Arabia, Signa, Mid-Gulf, all of these. You know how you know them? When you have a policy, ويجوك البروكرز اللي هم السماسرة. They show you the strength of every insurance company. What's their relation with the prevention? Sorry, there is no relation. There is a fee for the service. Yes, there is a fee. There is a third-party payer. That's important. There is a government program. مؤسسة النقد تقدر تقيم. A statistic for your information, because I know some of my dental colleagues, they are not aware about this. Currently now, accordingly, مؤسسة النقد العربي السعودي, look for the number for the total primary السعودي المؤمن عليهم. Then dependent سعودي عوائلهم. Then non-سعودي 6 million point 7. Then total dependent non-سعودي 2 point. المستفيدين في الوقت الحالي من بوليسيات التأمين إلى إحصائية 2017. You talk about 11.8 million, 12 million. Out of what? Out of 30. So you talk about more than 35% of the population. How many company now in the market? 26 company. How many third-party administrator, I mean? Only 9. The number of the healthcare providers register with them 4,601. 4601 مؤسسة طبية مسجلة في شركات التأمين. Imagine for Dr. Tarif, when he said in his speech for 2020, those 4,601, in a very small thing we made it. They can be part of the prevention. What will happen in our disease picture? Look for the difference of a statistic which is run by مؤسسة النقد, market reports between, look for these two different green, darker and lighter. The darker green, this is the net earn. البوليسة تدفع عليها مليون ريال وتأمن على موظفينك. نهاية السنة صرفت الشركة عليك 800,000. كم عندي فرق؟ 200,000. 200,000 you are winner. الشركة السنة الجاية ما بتزيد عليك لأنها كسرت منك. لكن عطيت بطاقاتك لخواتك وخالاتك يولدون في البطاقة حقت أختك ولا زوجتك وطلعت الوحدة هذا بتخسر الشركة. فبدل ما كنت بالمليون طلعت عليك 1,500,000. يتعذرون لك. The behavior of the Saudi for the using the insurance start now to be improved. You can see always there is a profit within the companies. Question now. How many of you here استمع the big company التعاونية أو بوبا اللي ماسكين الماركت أو ميد-جلف they said last year 2017 we generate that number of million profit. We like to donate for Ministry of Health promotion program 1 million real to improve the oral health, so this is will minimize my expenses later on. بتقلل تكاليفي لأنك أنت لما تستثمر في البريفنشن في نفس الناس اللي مأمن عليهم بينعكس عليك أنت مو بعشان حبا في التبرع. We don't have anyone and nobody touch it even. When you look for the gross written premium and the net written premium, I mean here, according to the statistic, you can see the difference, I mean, in the percentage of the value. Where we are, us, as a dental services, majority of us who has experience in the private, كل اللي حيقدر يعمله يجيب واسطة يدخلون مركزه أو عيادته في التعاونية أو في بوبا. That's it. خليني أتكلم صراحة لأني أنا شوية أمون على المجموعة الكبيرة. But you cannot find how many of them they can just work for that. So as a conclusion, within 2030 vision, we need more prevention practice than treatment. Yes. We like to ask our colleague, Mr. Deans, سعادة العمداء ممكن تتكرموا علينا وتروحون للخطط الدراسية، لجنة الخطط. Then you redesign your curriculum to promote oral health. Why? Me and you, the old graduate, we need the new graduate to be more promoted with the Vision 2030 for the prevention. Further attention and well-designed program are need to decrease the high percentage of cases. ترى أنا كاتبها ذي ولا أعلم أن سعادة الدكتور طريف الأعمى عنده قرار كشخص مسؤول، وما حنتركه. قلت للدكتور سعود هذه أحسن مكسب لي اليوم ترى من حضرت، غير إني قابلكم وحاضر لكم، إنه هو قال بنفسه وباخذ تسجيل دكتور عبد الله إنه 20%. Okay, I need him just to support this within his authority. We will run the show. Don't leave others to solve your problem. Others, they can help you, but they cannot do anything for you. Then, policymakers encourage the health insurance companies at the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to include the dental treatment code with more dental prevention codes. Please add the new prevention code beside سحب العصب. And I love سحب العصب. Now, I'm happy just to listen for your question. Mr. Chairman, how much time left for me? 5 minutes? Oh, I'm really good in time management. Every time, honestly, I test myself. If I manage the time, that means I'm doing right. If I'm not managing the time, everything. Type. If you permit me, I like to call my colleague, the one from King Abdulaziz. I'm so happy with this young. تفضل يا دكتور. Can we run discussion from you? Because I am happy with those Saudi young coming from the state, full energy with so many nice things. But I feel sad sometimes لما يصطدمون في واقع مرير. ممكن دكتور إذا سمح لي طبعا الchairman يعني مرات we need to take permission from the chairman first. Yeah. What do you like to say?
So basically, I think
مرة ثانية your name عشان أنا أتذكره.
أكرم قطب.
أشرف؟
أكرم.
أكرم. الله يكرمك.
الله يسلمك. I think it was a heavily loaded lecture, presentation, like from preventive point of view.
Made it lighter. Yeah.
Seriously, Dr. Abdullah, I look at you and I think the majority of the Saudi population in dentistry look at you as the preventive guy.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, going on to what I think we need to move from there is 3 areas. Education.
Yes.
And when I talk about education, I talk about oral health curriculum for medical schools, oral health curriculum for schools in general, elementary, intermediate, high schools, منهج يدخل في التدريس. I talk about prevention, mainly we talk about water fluoridation for years and years. ما عمر واحد سواها في البلد. ليش؟ Why?
لا يا
We are
رجل.
lagging behind.
لا يا رجل.
مياه التحلية إلى الآن تحلية المياه ما فيها.
أوه شفت؟
يمكن أكون غلطان.
لا, there is a lot. Okay, this is one.
Third one وخلص أوقف عليها.
And the first one I'll go back. Second one now education,
Prevention.
fluoridation. Then third one
Third one is promotion.
promotion. Yes.
So we talk about promotion and we look at schools, canteens حق schools and what they are selling in their schools, private or public, all sort of crap diet. Sorry to say that. Ministry, as the Minister of Education or Minister of Health has done anything towards that? Question that needs to be answered.
Okay.
That's it.
Dr. Akram, this is really nice. Let us to go back for your question. Number one, forgive me if I discuss with you because I need the audience to learn because I love always the scenario discussion. Now you are a faculty member at King Abdulaziz University Dental School. This is the second distinguished dental school in my country. Number one, King Saud, then number two, King Abdulaziz. Yani, no doubt, well established. How many faculty of dental public health or public health at that department, including you?
We're talking 13.
13, okay.
Plus few coming
Good.
soon, inshallah.
Do you have an access for the curriculum committee, chaired by the dean or vice dean, Dr. Abdul Ghani Mira, to look for the prevention within the curriculum, not changing the total number of the credit. I'm expert in that, but only to relocate, to exclude the complete denture from the first pre-clinic because they consider it is very safe for the students to start taking impression. But this is 1940. And move it to the last year, then put prevention. The first clinical experience for any new undergraduate at King Abdulaziz University Dental School, sitting with the patient, Do prevention with evaluation. Can you do that with the 13 of you?
I definitely can open that. I'm a member of
No,
the
no, 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 not now. Open it. You should.
I mean, open that
تدغش
discussion.
مني
at
الحين.
school.
لا لا. No. Do you think about it? How much will affect a leader dental school like your school if you do this? يعني احنا مشكلتنا يا دكتور اكرم، عشان انا معاصر كل السعوديين وحاسبهم على السبحه، ترى السينيور، الجيل التالي ذا اللي بس بديت اضيعهم، بس دائما ابحث عنهم. If I have 13 highly qualified, I am sure King Abdulaziz, all their staff coming from different names of big names university in the state. So we like to do something. This is number one for education. Take this message with you.
I will.
Go for Professor Abdelghani Mira, he's my colleague, he respects me a lot. Say, look, Professor Shammari quote me, we are 13, he sent me message. If you open this, I'm happy. Number two now, the fluoridation. يا دكتور, الفلورايديشن سعينا فيها وزملائنا عارفين, يعني we work so hard. كنا نفاجأ بممانعة كاملة من زملائنا في الميديكال. إلين وصلنا في فترة من الفترات كان معالي وزير الصحة الدكتور حمد المانع. وهالرجل ذا اليوم أنا أبغى أذكره بالخير والذكر الحسن، مو لأنه زميل لي، لا، أقنعته في جلسة خاصة وخليته يحضر سيمبوزيوم كامل عن الأورال هيلث في الانتركونتيننتال. اقتنع في حجم المشكلة، لأول مرة يحضر وزير صحة GCC أورال هيلث بريفنشن. لاحظ الحين المسؤولين أول ربع ساعة وبعدين مع السلامة، ما يدري وش صار. اعتمد التوصية. تدري وش اللي صار؟ فاجئونا مصلحة المياه والهيئة السعودية للمقاييس، قالوا مياه التحلية في المملكة العربية السعودية ما هي موزعة equal for all the cities. الرياض على سبيل المثال تشرب من التحلية 2/3 and 1/3. 2/3 تحلية installation and 1/3. هذه ما تضخ يوميا كما رأيت في أمريكا. أنت كنت في أي جامعة في أي مكان؟
أنا في كندا، تورونتو.
فين؟
من كندا، تورونتو، جامعة تورونتو.
كندا. طيب تورونتو، يا سلام. الآن هناك تفتح الصنبور أو البزبوط تجيك الموية. إحنا هنا السعوديين عندنا خزان موية، والموية تجينا 3 أيام تحلية وغيرها، يتخزن تحت. وش في تحت؟ مليص اسمنت من أبو يمن ولا اللي يشتغلونه، بعدين يسحب فوق إلى الخزان العلوي ويبامب ذا ووتر فور ذا مين ستورج. وجونا حار، يعتمد على استهلاكي في البيت. كل ما زاد استهلاكي قلت الفترة التايم اوف ذا stagnation اوف ذا ووتر، ركود الماء. If it's increased more salt, that means we cannot control the fluoride level. هذه مسكونة فيها حقين الهيلث. Then they show us a lot. I was attending. I don't like to say I'm the key person at that time. With the deputy ministers from health, from King Abdulaziz City of Science Technology, from هيئة المقاييس. واعتمدوها ترى توصية. لكن في النهاية قالوا no way until we will have in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia وإن شاء الله مع الفيجن 23 daily water main supply. بس لاحظوا السعودية ولله الحمد ما في بطل اوف ووتر في المملكة إلا فيها نسبة الفلورايد اللي هي ما بين 0.6 إلى مرات إلى هذه. فthis is really هذه نمبر 2 الفلوريديشن. آخر واحدة اللي هي نمبر 3
بروموشن.
البروموشن زي ما انت شايف. Our meeting today is a promotion. That's why we thank Dr. Abdullah and his colleague. أنا أقول يا دكتور أكرم بخبرتي، وأنا إن شاء الله إني منصف، ال5 سنوات زي ما قلت الأخيرة أنا أحس عندنا زيادة في البروموشن ما بالغ له إذا قلت 1000%. إحنا أول لما نعمل بروموشن هيلث الناس تتحرك بثقل. الآن ما شاء الله الجيل الجديد they are doing an excellent thing في السوشيال ميديا. And the most happy thing, when I discover undergrad students, they establish their own account or Snapchat or something. Look now, every company, Oral-B, Listerine, all of these names, Colgate, they are doing camping. الدكتور عبد الله أعلن الأسبوع الجاي في غرناطة، أكبر مول عندنا في الرياض بيكون فيه. So I think, but they need national prevention monitoring committee. والكوميتي دي اللي تبغى تشتغل لوجه الله، ما يقول انا وش بستفيد. انا اكثر ما يؤلمني اللي تجيبه كي بيرسون وتبغاه يشتغل في حاجه للبابليك للناس، بعدين يقول كم تعطوني وش بستفيد. يا اخي انا وياك اصلا بنشتغل. ف be with us يا اكرم. We will invite you ان شاء الله.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. So, Dr. Abdullah.
We would like to thank Prof. Shemri for this interesting presentation. And I'll take this opportunity to also thank Dr. Saud Orfali for his contribution, and on the behalf of the organizing committee, and as well as your behalf, I would like to present him with the certificate of appreciation.
On behalf of Riyadh Dental Meeting 2080, we would like to present.
Okay, so we'll go to our next speaker. Okay. Okay, so the third speaker in this session will be Dr. Abir Shami. She received her dental degree from the University of Science and Technology in Sana'a, and in 2001, and her postgraduate diploma in clinical dental sciences at Eastman Dental Institute, University College London in November 2010. Dr. Shami attended several international conferences and continuing education courses. She's also a member of different professional organizations and associations. She received Excellence Reward from the Ministry of Higher Education Saudi Cultural Bureau in 2012 and 2014, and 3M winner prize for Best Pediatric Postgraduate Resident Student at EDI 2013 in UK. Dr. Shami is currently the Vice Dean of Clinical Affairs, Assistant Professor of Preventive Dentistry and Pediatric Dentistry at Prince Noor bin Abdurrahman University in Riyadh. Without any due delay, I would like to ask you to welcome Dr. Shami before she starts her presentation on the rationale of silver diamine fluoride and its clinical implications on arresting and managing dental caries.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I want to thank this organization for inviting me. It's quite an honor for me to be among those distinguished speakers, Dr. Saud and Prof. Shemri. Today, it's a continuation for the oral health promotions and all the stuff that we can do to help prevent the diseases. Today, mainly I'm talking about the silver diamine fluoride, which is, in my opinion, or in fact, in my humble opinion, I think this drug will be the new revolution in preventing early caries and stop children and special care dentistry patients suffering and staying in a long waiting list, waiting for proper treatment. So, caries prevalence in Saudi Arabia is increasing dramatically, and I just made some quick changes while the previous talk was going on because we did not want to repeat what Dr. Saud and Prof. Shemari started mentioning about the prevalence and the DMFs and all these things. It's a fact, and we know that the number has been increased dramatically. Most of our future young generation are affected with caries. And to be honest, caries is it's an endemic problem now, and most of human mankind suffer from caries, and that's well documented in the literature, in both developing country and developed country, unfortunately. So, if we start this talk with a little bit of engagement, okay, from you, this is a child who's 3 years old with early lesions, okay. I would like to imagine, from all of you, if you can imagine that you are the parents, are the mother or father of this child, what are the options that you can explore, or what would be the best idea or the best initial treatment or the best prevention would be for him. As you can see here, there's options. I'm aware that everyone has a smartphone. If you don't mind, if you can go into that link so you can participate in that poll. Just type in poll.com/abiralshami287. It shouldn't take long. It's a straightforward thing. And then you can choose one of the options. And then the result will come up here. Okay? There's something going on here. Yeah, it's on the internet. Go back to the link. Okay. Have you chosen? Yeah. المفروض البول تطلع الآن بس it's not showing. We just tried it earlier, it was working, but seems that there's something ongoing with it. It's always technology. You cannot predict what would happen. So, unfortunately, we cannot see the result live, okay? But most of you have chosen B, the water fluoridated option. Okay, if we go through all the stuff, as Prof. Shemari mentioned, the fluoridated water would be one of the best options. But fortunately, due to the variations of the level of the fluoride we've got here in the kingdom, I wouldn't consider that, in our situation, the best option. In order for us to think which option is the best, we need to think about what the accessibility of these options. Is it easier? Is it difficult? And in my opinion, I think, and it's the most common thing is the word fluoride. Fluoride is mentioned in all the prevention type. So the key word is fluoride. And when you choose which method you're going to use, you need to be smart about it, okay? You need to be specific. You need to choose a measurable method, achievable, realistic, and a certain time frame for it. So, as every strategies, so we've got fluoride, the best option in that situation for that child who's only 3 years old. It starts from home with fluoridated toothpaste. This is the early intervention that they can do at home. But later on, when they go to follow the treatment, if they're going to do any, we'll go for the varnish, and then when they grow up more, they can go for the fluoride rinse mouth. But again, if you go back to the smart thinking about fluoride, fluoride is everything with prevention. And I want to associate that with the young generation, our students. They need to know, they link fluoride with the prevention. Whenever there is a prevention, the first thing I wanted to come in mind is fluoride. Since I came home, surprisingly, I've faced this problem several times where parents come to my clinic and they're saying that they tried, they're using toothpaste, and they are saying that I'm using non-fluoridated toothpaste, free of fluoride toothpaste for my child. And she was quite happy and bragging about it, that she's not using fluoridated toothpaste. And then when I looked at the child mouth, unfortunately, it was full of cavities and abscesses. So this idea is trending now, that for your children, do not use fluoridated toothpaste. And unfortunately, those people or those advocates of this idea, they're getting the upper hand on us, okay? We know well, prevention is fluoride. And the simplest way started with fluoridated toothpaste. If those mothers are not giving their children the fluoridated toothpaste, so you can imagine the miserable outcomes that we'll see as periodontists or regular dentist. So fluoride, as we said, is the most important thing. So what did they do? Over the years, they start adding few elements to it. And then they do some trials about this drug. And then they were chasing the FDA approval. Till finally, we've got the silver diamond fluoride. Okay? What is silver diamond fluoride? It's a colorless liquid. It contains 28% silver. And that will act as an antimicrobial agent. It has 8% ammonia, which will act as a solvent. And then 5% fluoride, which will help in the remineralizations. And we all know how this works, the remineralization, the replacements of the hydroxyapatite with fluoroapatite, which will give hardness and more resistance for microbial toxins. So where did it come from? So if SDF was used by native people in Australia, Brazil, in Japan, and they've used it also in China, over, let's say, 80 to 100 years ago. The thing is that they were not using it as teeth arresting caries or a preventive way. They were actually using it as teeth tattooing. Okay, and they've got this black staining. And the reason why this thing is happening is because of the silver oxidations. So that's why these materials turn the tooth, unfortunately, to black due to the oxidations of the silver. So this new material, as I just said, it's an old, new approach technique where they've used it years ago. And if you notice from this table, you can see that the Japanese, as usual, they were the smartest people, and they start using it in the 1970 as a SDF, and they already approved it from their Ministry of Health and used it in young generations. And also, it was only beginning of the 2000s when they start, the European and the American people, they start looking at it in a more serious way and doing some research at it. For me personally, the first time I heard about silver diamide fluoride was in 2010 when I was a student at that time. And I remember one of my instructor was talking about it and saying it has been used for a while in Japan and Far East. But again, they had their worries. They were a bit conservative about the amount of the fluoride on it. All these things made them stay longer and decided to postpone the idea of having the SDF earlier than now. So how silver ion works, okay? So usually it breaks down the wall, and what happens is these ions stop the DNA replications on the microorganism cells. What are the evidence on SDF? So as evidence base, we need to think about the quality of the research, or the quality of the study that we are quoting. So in this study, we've got the meta-analysis systematic review, and they said that it's almost 69% of the cases were stopped, and compared it to the fluoride varnish, that it was more effective. And again, we've got another systematic review supporting the same idea in 2018. And then finally, we've got the biggest breakthrough, which was the approval of the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry, and mention it in one of the options in prevention and early caries treatment. And then finally, the approval of the FDA. So, who can benefit from the SDF treatment? People who are unable to access dental treatment, to tolerate conventional dental care, very young uncooperative children, person with intellectual and development disabilities, and older adults, and finally, all special care dentistry. And in my opinion, the biggest benefit of this type of treatment is those kids who are staying in the waiting list for general anesthesia. So if you look at it that way, a child coming to the clinic, the primary health care, when they start the primary health care, when they see the first dentist, the child is not cooperative. Unfortunately, he cannot do the treatment. He'll say, okay, I'll transfer you to a secondary hospital where you can seen by a specialist, and that might take up to 6 months. And you can imagine the caries in primary dentition, how fast does it spread? So from zero, or not zero when they come, let's say that's the baseline, give it another 6 months. If the caries was in enamel only, it's been already spread into dentine, definitely. And then by the time they get their appointment for general anesthesia, that gives us another 1 year to 1.5 years. So by the time the child has been seen, unfortunately, most of his posterior primary molars are going to be extracted under general anesthesia. And speaking again about the general anesthesia, there's another lateral thing we need to think about is the cost of the general anesthesia. How many kids usually put to sleep, okay, just because of they're uncooperative, and the amount of the government spending. So instead of spending all that amount of treatment, we need to think about early intervention, a primary thing to be done instead of facing the problem and doing the treatment while the child is asleep and extracting all the teeth. So it's all coming around. The same thing that Prof spoke and Dr. Saud is about budgeting, okay? It's always easier to prevent than to build. If you plan properly from the beginning, it will be less costly, most effectively. But again, all these things, we cannot achieve it by one person. It's not one person thing. I cannot do it by myself, Prof. Abdullah cannot do it yourself, you guys cannot do it yourself. It's a whole. We need to unify our strategies. Everyone is working alone. the educational department in academia, they're working by themselves. The Ministry of Health, they're working by themselves. The National Guards are working by themselves. So imagine all that amount of money distributed and spent. Okay, to me, it's a waste because they're not unifying the strategy. And now we've got the opportunity. We've got a well-structured strategy ahead of us, the 2030. We need to take the benefit of that now and start gathering all the information and build a unifying strategy for us. So many people say and ask that question, Saudi Arabia, are we a developed country or developing country? When you look outside, you look at the street, you look at the building, it's amazing. And you look, you'll see, wow, definitely this country is a developed country. We've got nice infrastructure, we've got good hospitals, we've got good educational system. But the problem is, there are fundamental issues, and for us, no one is taking, giving these small, tiny things attention. So we have to unify our strategy, and definitely later on we're going to talk about that. And we'll come back to the idea of the unifying strategies. So coming back to the SDF, we've got the advantages of SDF. It's inexpensive, okay? So it won't cost anything. The bottle costs only $20. We've got easy way to use it, okay? It's just only using the brush, and we'll come to it. It's non-invasive technique. You don't need drilling. You don't need local anesthesia. And then this is the most important thing, required minimum training. So any dental auxiliary can use this material, from consultant to specialist, to GP, to dental assistant, to hygienist. It's just you need to give them the proper training, and they can be the first line to see. So can you imagine how much amount of money that will be saved, and how much amount of inconvenience visits for children? I think it was in Alaska, in the United States, they had that. They tried with the native people of the Red Indian. They tried different strategy, but they failed with it. And then finally, they unified their strategy, and they had something called the Spring Revolution that they did, in which they used SDF for 2 years, and they reduced the percentages of children who went to general anesthesia by 50%. Do you know what does that mean if we translate these numbers into money? 50% reduction in general anesthesia. That's mean millions of money. You can imagine what can we do as a health provider if we given the opportunity to have that amount of money instead of wasting it on something that can be curable, or not even curable, is preventable from the beginning. The only disadvantage of this material is the staining. And I know that everyone is right now with this slide. But again, think about it. A child who's 4 years old, his mom, I'm talking locally now in Saudi Arabia, a mother who has 3-4 kids, okay? She cannot take care of all of them and give them 100% attention with all she's going through. So this child, he's in pain, and she cannot afford to take him to luxurious private clinic to do a proper cleaning of teeth or even stainless steel crown. So she decides to go to the primary health care because she wants her child to have a good level of standard living, because caries and abscesses and pain, they all affect the standard living of the child and his health. The child will start missing school, the child will start feeling low, it will affect his self-esteem if he has to extract all these things, all these teeth. Imagine a child who has full mouth extraction, full mouth clearance under general anesthesia, just because of what? He wasn't take care, or the decision to treat him properly wasn't made, and it was easy from the beginning. Now, even the new companies, We've got so many new companies like 3M and Gradia and even the Dentsply. What they're trying to do is provide a new type of composite with very highly opacity, which will give the advantages of all those dentists who are using the SDF to use it more comfortably and not worried about the stain. Because after applying it and arresting the caries, they can put back the composite that they want. So you get both, without local anesthesia, without any of the other stuff that we need, or not even glass ionomer. Let's think simpler. Not composite. We can think about glass ionomer, which is easy to apply and easy to maintain even. So this is an example of silver diamond, and this is the X-ray. If you look at the baseline, and then you've seen the same X-ray, the same child a year after that, there's barely any changes. And then you can see it in 2 years old, the teeth exfoliated normally without any intervention. There wasn't pain, there wasn't any local anesthesia, no bad trauma, no psychological trauma, nothing at all. It was smooth. So when SDF is not recommended, the only cases that we do not recommend using the silver diamond fluoride is when the person has allergy, if the teeth with evidence of pulpitis or pulpal necrosis, and this is obvious, okay? We cannot apply this material on exposed pulp or even with necrotic issues. And finally, teeth with pulp lesions, okay? Deep lesions, sorry. And I had this discussion with one of my colleagues yesterday, is still, because of the material is new, still we don't have a standardized measurement for the word deep lesions. Deep lesions, there's so many deep lesions according to an endodontist, according to a periodontist who will think, oh, this tooth can be restored in an indirect pulp capping and any of these things. But again, in this SDF material, we don't have it. I don't know how deep it is, okay? There is, like, for example, a whole technique, and I think one of our colleagues should present something about whole technique tomorrow, and I'm quite happy about that, because we need to experience the variety of the approach. We shouldn't stick into one method, especially with this endemic caries prevalence going up. We need to explore easiest way with a better outcome. So the whole technique, they standardized what the meaning of deep lesions, when to use it, but still the SDF not. So I recommend personally not to use it with any deep lesions. Just avoid the conflict, avoid the problems that might have, because still we don't have evidence about that. So the preparations, definitely we need informed consent. As we said, it doesn't have any operative procedures, there's no hand pieces, any of these things. We need to use plastic line bib and plastic instruments. Everything should be plastic, because the moment that you use any metal thing, it will stain permanently. And even it will stain your bench, it will stain your clothes, so you need to be quite careful before using it. So this is the preparation. As we said, use always plastic dish, do not use a glass. I'm not sure if that one, okay. Oh, that one opened, surprisingly. So this is a very simple video just to show you how you apply this material. Is there any audio? So she did the isolation with the Vaseline. Oh, it's not showing. Okay, it's fine if it's not working. unfortunately today, all the technical things are failing us today. So this is the application technique. As we need to use the Vaseline, remove all the debris of lesions, isolate with the cotton, and then apply with a micro brush. Be very careful. As a matter of fact, only 1 drop of SDF can be used for 5 teeth. And then in 6 months' time, we need to apply another layer. In conclusion for this bit, we've got the SDF is the old new approach for arresting caries. It's only a matter of time, and it will be the top option for uncovered pediatric children. So my suggestion is everyone needs to be on board in accepting new ideas, new approach and new method of treatment, as long as it's evidence-based. This is another poll. I don't think it's working even. So let me, if you don't mind, I'm just going to take extra 5 minutes talking about the role in the oral health promotion, as we just mentioned earlier. This question, in fact, it was about whose responsibility it is. Is it the Ministry of Health? Is it the Ministry of Education? Is it the Saudi Health Specialist Commission? Is it the Finance Ministry? Whose responsibility it is to have a good plan of oral health promotion? And in my opinion, it's everyone. So if we start with the Ministry of the Health, and as the previous speakers mentioned about the heavy load and the responsibility on the Ministry of Health's shoulder, we need to build our primary care health. Unfortunately, dental-wise, our primary health care are still weak comparing into the other medical auxiliaries. We need to, for us now, we are like those people who are sitting on the top of the pyramid, but the bottom of it is still wobbly, still shaky, because we don't have a well-standard primary health care for dental. If you go to the primary health care, we've got only 1 dentist, most probably cannot see all the patients. To be honest and give accreditation to our Ministry of Health, Dr. Tawfiq, it was his mission to establish a good foundation of primary health. So we're hoping and we're optimistic about that. And then the other thing is the educational, and as the previous speaker said, the educational department, they need to have oral health promotion as a chapter in the school, early foundation school, as a chapter, not only training teachers. It should be taught the same way that we teach our kids what to eat, what to do, how to pray, how to do math. It's important to teach them how to do oral health promotion, how to brush their teeth, how to choose the right toothpaste. So this should be well established in our science books and early educations. And then finally, we've got the licensed people. We were in a meeting a couple of months ago in Dubai, and we discussed the idea of having, instead of giving the license only for those dentists who had collected enough hours in attending symposium and lecturing, we need them to pay that. We need them to pay their deeds in actual oral health work. So no one will be licensed unless they got their deed, they paid their deed to community, they made their services. And the same thing with the private sectors. The private sector need to be involved. Even them as organizations, they are earning millions and billions, and they're not paying back anything. So instead of renewing their license and giving them for granted, they need to work harder, they need to donate, they need to do more effort to have a proper strategy in oral health promotion. And finally, it's just that I want to say that it's everyone work, and we can move and we can change. And I hope soonly we won't be a developing country, we'll move to a developed country. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashami. It was really interesting. Before we open the floor for questions, I want you just to forgive us in the organizing committee because you have a strict schedule, but you still have the chance if you want to talk to the speakers in your free time, you can chat with them. So we will open the question in the female side. If you have a question there.
Dr. Hiba Al-Karimi from King Fahd Armed Forces Hospital. I'm a consultant public health dentist. Thank you very much for your nice presentation.
Dr. Hiba, close to the microphone, please.
Thank you very much for your nice presentation. I have a question for you. Do we have an access to SDF in Saudi Arabia?
No, not yet, but
So-
we are in the process.
Hopefully, because
Yes.
I'm really, I want to use it in my hospital, which is King Fahd Armed Forces Hospital. But usually we have a problem in accessing the products. So how we would know that we can access this material in future?
So from my personal experience, okay, because we're running several research on the SDF in the Princess Noura University, and we managed to get the IRB, and we're still talking to the Saudi, the SF, the Saudi FDA. Yes, and now this is the only step left. So as soon as they prove it, and they that it should be proved soonly. So we're waiting for it to be proved, and the agency is there, and I think as soon as it gets approved, a couple of months or 3 months maximum, it should be available in the market. But definitely there will be a strict who's going to use it and how to purchase it. It won't be the same as the other material